Hello there, and welcome everybody. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own custom Minecraft create recipes. That's right, create with recipes. I got bored a little while ago and figured it out, and I thought I would share my experiences with you all. Let's get started. Before we do anything, we might want to get a few things set up to make our lives easier during the creation process. So, if we go into our inventory here, you can see that I have, whenever I hover over a block, ID, which is create deep slate zinc ore here. So if you press F3 and H at the same time, you will get advanced tooltips. And as you can see here, now the tooltips are gone. So just press F3 and H, and you'll now get advanced tooltips. If you want to have an easier time making these recipes, I highly recommend installing cube.js. If you do /cube.js and then you type in hand, you can then see all the tags and IDs that is used by this item. With that, without further ado, let us begin. Alright, so now you might want to open up your mod launcher. I'm personally using Mondrinth, but this is just a quick way to quickly get to your mod files. So if you click up here where the three dots are, you come here and then go to open folder. So now that you've opened up your mod pack folder, you're going to want to go into your saves. And then from saves, you're going to want to go into the world you plan to work in. I'm working in the demonstration world. So next we're going to want to go into the data packs of our world. Inside our data packs, you can see plenty of different little fun things we can choose from. So next up, we will want to make our data packs. So first off, make a new file. Yours is probably going to be empty. That's fine. If there is stuff in here, don't worry about it. This is your pack. That's what I'm going to call mine. You can name it whatever. So then we can go into here, and this is your pack. We need one folder. We need data, then we need a text file called pack, and then we want to rename the txt part to mcmeta. And it's going to ask if you want to change your file name extension. Yes. You're probably asking, but I don't see the .mcmeta. Not a problem. You're going to want to come up here to view, then come on down to show, and then come on down to file name extensions and make sure this has a check on it. If it doesn't, you're going to want to click it. Now you'll be able to see a pack.txt or pack.mcmeta. If it does not say that, you're going to want to fix that and go and hit rename, and now you can edit the actual little file extension. Next up, now that you have this pack.mcdata, you're going to go and you want to click and edit with Notepad. So this is a different MC pack data. If you want to type it yourself, go ahead. I will be putting in the comments. Pack_format 5. This is the type of format they use for these type of packs. And then your description. And that's our pack.mc data. So let's just double check that everything looks okay. Yep, I don't see anything wrong. But I will put a temporary pack.mc that you can just literally copy and paste this and then put it into your pack meta. Now that we have our pack.mc meta, we're going to want to go into our data folder. Now we're inside our data. This part is interesting. You can actually change other recipes from other mods and Minecraft itself if you want here. We're not going to do that right away. We're going to start out with our own custom recipes first, but I will show you how to replace other recipes later. So first off, you're going to make a new folder. This is your identifier name. This will identify or what file this recipe came from. So we want to call this is your pack recipes. You can name this whatever, as long as it doesn't conflict with other names. And if it does conflict with another name, then it will replace those recipes if you reuse a recipe. I should stress that. I'll explain it later. So this is your pack recipe. So now we're in our pack recipes. There's two more folders we want inside of here that are important. Recipe and tags. Tags are very useful in the long run, and I will show you why in a bit. We'll use a tag example, a recipe example. That is our tags and recipe. And now we are at the interesting part. So I will go ahead and quickly go into tags, make this simple. We're just going to quickly go ahead and add the block folder for the items or the tags, and then the item. These are both important. This is like tags for blocks, and this is tags for like items. It's just how Minecraft does its code. Oh well. this is our file structure for now. We're going to be adding more to this, but with this basic setup, you'll be fine. So I'm going to go over it one more time. Here's a skip if you feel like you got it down. If you don't, we're going to go through this one more time. So you want to go into your saves from your mod pack, demonstrations mine. You want to go to your data packs. Then you want to go and create something that has a unique identifier name. Come in here. This is your data pack. You want to make a datas folder and a pack.mcmeta. Once you have the pack.mcmeta, you want to go ahead and edit it, put the information that I put in the description onto it. Then you want to go into the data. And here you want to make your own unique identifier name again. Then you want to make a recipe and tags folder. And then in tags, you want to put block and item folders. And that's it. You're done with this part. We're going to get onto the fun stuff now. All right. To start with, I think a fun little recipe would be taking like 64 coal and pressing it to get a diamond. It's a very simple one. It's a very dumb one. But that's what we're here for. So we're going to want to go back to, this is your pack recipes. And let's come over to recipe. So now inside the recipe here, we can do a lot of different things. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, what do I do? Have no fear. I got a solution. So we're going to want to come back to whatever mod pack you're using that has the create mod. We're going to then want to go into our mods, copy the create mod, hit Control-C, copy it. I would make a new file and call it like workstation, and then paste it into here. You can actually do this with any mod in the future, by the way. So you now have two choices. You can either use 7-zip and come down to show more options, go to 7-zip and open archive. This will actually let you go straight into the data and look around. It works, but I personally find it easier if I come in here and do show more options. You're going to need 7-zip, by the way. So I'll link that in below. Extract files. It gives you all your recipes and tags. So you're going to notice something. So this is the create mod, right? If we go into it, we're going to see that there's a data. Oh, and a pack MC. Oh, wait. I have a data folder. Wait a second. What are these? Well, this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can add recipes or tags into other categories. So if you want to add yourself into a certain tag, you can just add an item into that tag. But don't worry about that right now. So now that we have all this, we want to actually go into the create folder, because this is, well, the create mod. So it makes sense that the create name would be in the create tag. And lo and behold, look at that. Create. That is the create tag right there. So we go back to our recipes here. So now we have these two. This is ours. This is the crate. So we're going to go into the crate, go into recipe, and here we are. This is all the different type of recipes that are in the create mod. So let's say we want to make a pressing recipe. So we should come over here and make a new folder called pressing, because this is how it's reading it. So we go into pressing. So now we're here at our thingamajiggy. So what do we want to make? Cardboard. So we're going to open this with a editor. I personally am using Microsoft Visual Studio, but you are free to use whatever you want. So this is their recipe. Straightforward enough. So now we need to make our own. We need to make a new file for JSON. All recipes are stored in JSON files. So we're going to call this diamond, and we want to make this a JSON file. So now we can edit this, open up our diamond JSON file, and start typing away, right? I'm lazy. So I'm actually just going to be copying and pasting what they have and posting it in here. But now comes the hard part. So we see that ingredients is an item and results is an ID. If you have an ingredient, you want to use item. If you have a result, it gives you an ID. But you can use tags for either which way, and we'll demonstrate tags later. For now, we want to take our ingredients, which is not a create poll. What was it? It is Minecraft. Well, actually, let's go back and look. It's Minecraft coal. So we're going to want to come back to here, Minecraft coal. Cool. And then we can come here, and we know that our result needs to be Minecraft -diamond. So now if you want to see your recipe, do /reload. And now you'll be reloaded with no errors. That's good. Cool. That's KVJS. It doesn't matter. We're now going to want to... I would highly recommend having JEI while you're doing this. But if we come to the press, look at this. We can now press coal into diamonds. Okay, so now if we come over here to our creative and we turn on like the creative motor and we like, you know, max out our RPMs or whatever, right? We put a coal in there. Boom, turns into a diamond. Got diamonds. Simple as that. And that's our recipe. It works. So that's how you add a recipe. From there, y'all saw how I got to it. I just looked around in the recipes of the crate mod. So from here, you can kind of make your own. I'm going to continue to make a few more based around mods and assembly and some deeper stuff, just to show more demonstration. But everything you need to make a mod is inside the mod itself. Good luck. If you want to stick around, stick around. Hey, real quickly, just gonna slide this in here. Don't worry about that. So, if you want to do like 64 coal turns into a diamond, you actually need to use something different than a press. So, the press is good for 1-to-1 ratio items. But when you want to do something like 64 coal into this, you're actually going to want to go and make something called compacting. Like so. So we'll actually just copy our diamond recipe, and then we're going to want to come over here and paste it. Then we can go back to our pressing delete it real quick. And then now we can edit this. So what we actually want to do is we can open up this like ICE file, and we can see that's crate compacting. So we'll copy our crate compacting, put it over where the pressing was, and now to achieve multiple, all you have to do is copy and paste coal another 62 times. So if we look here, here's ice. It's 9 times. And so, yep, that's what we do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And now, we do /reload and go to diamond. And if we look here at compacting, 64 coal into 1 diamond. We go to coal. Right, we'll take a basin, because you have to do it with a basin, not a teapot. We try to throw one or some in there, it won't work, but as soon as we throw... Oh. As soon as we throw a whole stack in there, you get a diamond. That's pretty cool. And I think you can actually make that go higher. So we could take everything from here, scroll up, copy, come back down, do it again, do it again, do it again, and do it again. And now, to reload again, let's save the recipe. You need a lot of coal. So you need 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, 4 stack. I don't even think you can actually do it. It's that much, but you technically can make that a recipe. It's a shame that basins only have a limit of that. But I would say you could do like an assembly line. It's like 64, you press it, and then you put another 64 on it and press it. Stuff like that. But that's how you do compacting. My point has been proven! Alright, so for this one, we're going to actually be making potions for the cobblemon mod in the create assembly line. So let's quickly go through this. So we have the potion. And you'll need a glass bottle, an oranberry, a potion of healing liquid. And then the potion will be spouted, and then the berry will be deployed, and you get a potion. But then you can make yourself a super potion by combining a potion and a golden get. I was thinking that this would be something closer to like a golden apple, but for Pokemon. And then, to get the hyper potion, I saw the word hyper in the pink, and I was like, alright, well, we'll take a potion of swiftness and a pink mint, and then you have to put it on a super potion. But to get a max potion, you then need to take your hyper potion and add a potion of regeneration and a blue mint leaf. And that way, there's a little bit of, like, defensive recharge. I don't know. But, like, I just felt like it was a fun way to make the recharge going. So, like, at first, it's like a light healing. And then you could like enhance it, and then you can speed it up, then you can like super enhance it. So let's get making. So I've already made a few before, but let's go ahead and find sequence recipes here. We will take this and call this potion JSON. And by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned it, but these should be lowercase. So now we're going to open this. Let's come over to our other sequence assembly. So let's just quickly get the track. Let's open it. Let's take it. Let's copy it. It's just easier if you do. And then we'll just go ahead and change a few things. So it's using the tag sleepers. We'll go over tags in a bit. This is everything we're going to use. So I'm going to do hands, cobblemon potion. So our results would be a cobblemon potion. One loop. This is saying you can use two different things here. So you can use either iron or zinc. That's neat. So if we delete this here. So this is our deployer, right? We want to take something like item. So we have our incomplete track, and then we want to put the item, what? Oranberry? Yeah. Oranberry. Yeah, you can do replace, which is really good. So you can replace stuff with like Oranberry. And if we find anything with it, which we don't, so that doesn't matter right now. But that is Control H. So Oranberry, incomplete track. We actually want to make this incomplete track with not Oranberry, but Minecraft. Probably like something. No, it's just glass bottle. Minecraft glass bottle. And then we just go, yep. We can delete this part. That's a press. This is another deployer. So we actually want to use the spout, right? So let's look up a recipe for a spout real quick. We can come here. We can go to filling, right? And let's go, I believe it's redstone. We'll give it exactly what we need. Yep, here we go. So this is the thing we want. This entire thing right here. Let's copy it. And come over with potion. I've been working on track. Whoops. Don't worry about that. Don't say that. We can copy this. And we'll come here. So we have the deployer. And then right here we have for our second thing. There's another deployer. Let's replace that with the filler. And now let's filling with that. But we want to make this Minecraft what? It might be instant underscore health. 250 millibuckets, so we can put 250 millibuckets in there. Let's go ahead and do a slash reload real quick. And see where our issues might lie. Okay, so that didn't work. That's usually a sign that you did something wrong and Minecraft is crying. That's okay. It happens. I'm just going to do this real quick. I want to see if this fixes it. Ooh. It's a deeper rooted problem. Okay. Sometimes it's just the simplest things. Ah, I found it. It's confused. It's like, wait a second. That's not my transitional item. This is my transitional item. That still didn't work. Alright, let's try this. Like that. That might work. Okay. What is going wrong? Why you gotta be like this? Okay, so it's something to do with our liquids. Maybe this does work. No, that does not work. Okay. So it's somewhere here. Is it help? Healing. That's the tag. Okay. Alright, that should work. Kidding me? It's gotta be something like this. But, here it is. Look at this. Look at there. What do you know? Whenever you accidentally misclick something. And now... there you go. So that's the first one. And from here, it's pretty straightforward because we can just reuse the process. So then you can take a potion. So to get the super potion is pretty expensive, but it's pretty straightforward from there. Red and white mint. These are farmable. I want to make mints have for uses than just changing your Pokemon's natures for stats. Let's get cooking. We'll actually just take this. We'll go super potion. JSON. Right. Open it with this. And from here, it's pretty smooth sailing now that we know what we're doing. Paste it here. So what do we want? We want the super potion, right? So what's our result? It's going to be super potion. What's our ingredients? Well, this time it's our potion. So this is where Control H can come in hand. So we want to find this and we want to replace it with this. Boom. Right? And then from here, we can actually get rid of our fluid one for now because we're not adding any fluids. We're just going to be deploying. So we'll deploy that, and that. Boom. So we want to deploy a gold ingot. I was thinking of originally doing like 4 gold nuggets, but I was like, you know what? Might as well just do a whole ingot. So your potion, right? And a gold ingot. So we just do a gold ingot. We come over here to the leaf. And we're just going to replace orange berry with the leaf. Then we're going to want to get the white mint leaf. Boom. And there you go. Now if we do /reload again. Again, making these recipes can be very easy once you start to get going. Boom. So a potion can become a super potion. And from there, the super potion, right? So now we have our super potion. I think you're starting to get the gist of what I'm doing. So now we have the hyper potion. Open here. Cool. Personally, I think it's easiest just to take all this code again. Come over to our hyper potion, pop it in. Replace our ingredient with the super potion. So our ingredient, Control H to replace it. We will want to replace the glass bottle with super potion. And then instead of healing, we can do the Swiffers. The Taylor Swift crew's coming out here. Grab our hyper potion. That is our results. And now, when we click our set hyper potion, I think y'all are starting to get the drift. It's pretty neat that you can do all this, though. This is one of the hardest parts, that's why I wanted to show it off, is figuring out how the spouts works in assembly. That's why I'm showing off the assembly and stuff first. This will probably be quickly put together on your end. This has taken me, like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So, and lastly, of course, hyper potion goes to max potion. And I'm literally just going to copy the hyper potion this time. Close out the rest, because we're not going to need it. It's one of those things where it's like, if you know what you're doing, why retype it all? And boom. Now we have recipes for every single thing. So, thank you for watching through this part. I'm going to find some more recipes that could definitely be used. I'm thinking the antidotes, if they don't already have a recipe, they don't. I definitely feel like you should be able to craft them, and they should each be, like, there's got to be a reason for each of these, right? There's some fun recipes we can make. I wouldn't make swift feathers or anything. So let's say you did not like the recipe you have in this game. You hate the fact that someone is able to craft a stupid lantern. Look at this thing. Or you don't like the recipe of the lantern, just needs a new overhaul. So we'll go over both with the lantern recipe right here. As you can see, I got the little lantern right here. Look at that. No one should be able to craft that. That's stupid. This is an exclusive, man. Let's change that. Alright, so go back into your data, this mod pack, your recipes and everything, right? We're actually going to want to go back to the data here. Here comes the fun part. So now we can type in Minecraft. So this is now going to give us the tag Minecraft, which is, as you can see, Minecraft Lantern. So if we now go into our Minecraft here and create a new folder called Recipe, we can now put recipes inside of here. So now we can go and make a new JSON called lantern.txt and call this JSON. So lantern.json. So now, if we reload, you're going to see here that whenever I go to our lantern, it no longer has the crate recipe. Now, crate ironwork still has this recipe, but as you can see there's this recipe identification. Mystics crafting lantern. So you would have to go into a Mystics and then make a crafting and then a lantern folder. As you can see, we no longer have the lantern recipe. We come over here to a normal recipe. Edit this with Notepad real quick, copy this so we can get the contents, open this one, and paste this in here. We can now see this. This is how you make shingles. Our result will be Minecraft Lantern. So now, if we come back to the game, reload, boom. Now, you can get 6 Minecraft Lanterns for 3 copper shingles. So that's how you do something like that. You can specifically make recipes that overwrite the original, which is very useful. We'll just go ahead and prove it one last time. Three of these, right? Oh, well, it's because there's actually a crafting recipe for shingles already. If we look here, they kind of cover up the same recipe, which recipe conflictions will take the one above it. So, yeah, you would need to get rid of the shingles recipe to then be able to do the lantern. But, my point, if we just added like another X here, space X, space, boom, 6 lanterns. And that's how you remove recipes or change recipes from base game Minecraft. I will continue to work on custom recipes now, and if you just need more pointers or want to see how things work. Oh, I guess I should go over tags. So we'll go over tags next. Woo! This is tags. This is how you could use tags for modded items to update recipes. So let's go to like pizza here from the brewing and chewing. If we come and look over here, we see that it accepts cheese wedges, which is great. And this one accepts pizza toppings. We could probably add stuff to pizza toppings tag. So let's do that. Let's add to the pizza toppings tag. So let's see here. Let's grab like a pork chop, right? That seems to be a pizza topping. So if we go to Cave.js, we can see that brewing and chewing foods / pizza. We can go into pizza toppings. So let's go to our files here. So I'm inside my personal mod pack I've been working on. This is actually for a server. So let's go into brewing and chewing, right? We want to go to tags. And inside the tags, I guess we have a new foods. So tags, new folder, items, and then we go to foods, and we can add a new pizza _ topping .json. And now, when we edit this, let's see what our original tags were. There's so many cool things you can do with data packs in this JSON, but we now see our toppings. But I wonder if I went here and went cobblemon potion, storing foods, items. Oh, it's item. Naming's very important for this reason. Item. Now it should work. Yep. So now it adds a potion. Okay, so I wonder, if we get rid of everything except potion, what happens? It still adds it. So, no matter what you do, you can now insert your own stuff into that tag, which is awesome. So now, anything I add into this tag should update as usable. So we can use like cobblemon hyper. So it just adds it to the tags. So we go to somewhere like Farmer's Delight, so you can add your own tag stuff. So where this is really useful is when a mod does not have support for something. The part I was actually worried about is, well, the cheese. I want to add one other mod from the cheese wedges. It is this one. There are so many cheese wedges here. Look at all these. Look at all these. This is all thanks to the cheese mod. Luckily, I have already spent a whole night doing this before. So, if we look at our cheese wedges category, right? From brewing and chewing, let's make sure cheese wedge is in the same place as pizza toppings. So, let's go ahead and come back out to my confections, my tags, my item. And we're going to go to, let's take cheese slices real quick. Brewing and chewing, tags, items, foods. Rename this to cheese wedges. Or wedge. Let's not worry about wedges. Right? And then we open this, and now we can see all the cheeses we want to add. There's, of course, the brewing and chewing ones, but there's a lot. There's a lot of cheese from all the different mods. So now we can reload. And now you can see that any cheese in the game is basically usable. Now, we don't have to add every single cheese, but, I mean, cheese is cheese. So, now we can add that to everything that uses the cheese wedges. Now, instead of manually going through and having to fix every single recipe, you can just fix that. Some of these don't allow any type of cheese to be used with it, which is a shame, but it does help. And you can do this for multiple different mods. So we look at cheese, right? This Trails and Trails also has the different cheese wedges. And now, of course, for my mixing recipe, but like this accepts my cheese slice because it works. This one does not, which is a shame. I'm pretty sure it's actually ID based in there. So now some of these do, some of these don't. Oh well. I can't save them all. But that's how you use tags. You can just rename stuff, or you can make your own categories. So if I come out here and I wouldn't do it inside like the brewing and chewing stuff. Unless you're replacing, I wouldn't recommend renaming your stuff over inside one of these. I'd recommend going into like your own custom and then making like a new tags and then a new item, right? And then adding your own custom stuff. That being said, that's how tags works. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, so now that you understand how to make tags, I think it's good to explain how to use it in a create recipe. So if we come back to here, we know that these require a recipe. Let's actually use that ham and cheese sandwich as a great recipe to test this out on. So let's say I want to change the brewing and chewing ham and cheese recipe to something new. Well, let's do it. So if we go to our data here, and we go to brewing and chewing recipe, we can go to ham and cheese sandwich right here. So let's come here. We won't worry about that right now. We're going to go into our recipe, and inside of here we have, well, actually I would do this inside my data packs. I have multiple different data packs. Okay, so in here I have my Rocky's confectional recipes and tags and everything. Let's go to recipe. So here we need to, let's actually just copy. See, this is why, so we can just make a new one and we'll just call it ham underscore and underscore ches underscore sandwich. So now that we have our ham and cheese sandwich, we can open it up. So we have our bread, our Farmer's Delight smoked, and here's the cheese, right? There's actually a huge difference that I haven't mentioned yet. Thanks for watching this far into the video. We have ID and item. To put it simply, they're the same thing, but when it comes to ingredients and result, they're different. So for ingredients, you have to put down item, and for results, you have to put down ID. I don't know why, but they both use an ID at the end of the day. So if we come to item, we can type in tag. And this now makes it where if you put in any tag here instead, it'll work. So let's go back to the create workshop real quick and see if I can find a good example of this, because I think showing is better than trying to explain. If we come to recipe and we go to I think pizza is a good example. Pizza from slices. Ah yeah, here we go. So if we go to here, you can see that you can put in a tag and then give it the tag name. So this is Brewin' Chewin' Foods Pizza Toppings. So if we know what our cheese tag is, so what's our cheese tag? I'm actually not going to use the cheese wedges. I'm going to use a tag from my own. So if we come here to tags, item, you will see that I have cheese slices. So if we come back to our ham sandwich that we're working on, we know that this can be changed to a tag from Rocky's Confection Recipes, right? Semicolons or colons. I think semicolons the other one. I'm a programmer and I still don't know what I'm doing some days. Cheese slices. Now when we check here and go to ham sandwich, look at this. Ah, another recipe. But this way you can use all the different recipes. I'm realizing that I must have not named the file the correct way. Oh, you know what it is? The ham sandwich is in here. We're actually going to want to move this to Brewin' and Chewin' recipes. So new folder, recipe, and paste this in here instead. And we can delete out that, and that, right? So now whenever we reload, we should see that it's the only recipe because we're replacing the Brewin' Chewin' recipe. So now you can make your ham and cheese sandwich out of anything you want, which I think is great. I think that kind of explains tags pretty well. Again, a lot of this stuff you can just look through. I think the biggest thing I'm trying to get at is you can just look through how they structure their data structures and tinker with it. That's all you have to do. It's not rocket science, so, but hopefully that helped. Might have, might not, I don't know. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to try to be responsive, but if you've seen my other videos, you know how well that works. But, oh well. Dancing rat time. Congratulations! You've done it! You made it to the end! This is it! I might give more examples, but good job! Wow! All else, I'm going to start working on it, though. So, alright. So I'm quickly going to go over deployer recipes, because I feel like it's a fun one we can go over real quick. We go to recipe, we can go to, let's see, deploy. Let's do deploy. If we look at a deployer recipe, let's just take like a cogwheel. If we open it, this is all it is, a shaft and planks, and it makes our thingy. So now we can come over here, and we're going to call this nothing yet, because I don't know what we want to name it. Antidote. Antidoting. Antidote. Dot JSON. So now we can open this, paste it in here, and we know that we have our item, our tag. Oh, so any plank works for that. Cool. We want just a glass bottle for all of these, right? So let's grab the glass bottle real quick. I know I can type that in. So if we take a glass bottle, put it on the base, and then we need a pecha berry. Pecha, I don't know. Pecha berry. Then we can make an antidote. I don't think it has to be that hard to make these. Just ban them, like, certain usage. And then you got the antidote. And boom, that's it. That's how you make an antidote. So now we can actually copy this, and we're just straight up going to run through each of these real quick. So, awakening, burning, ice, paralysis. So let's just speedrun this. This one, All right, and with that, we now should be able to reload. And if we go to something like Antidote, Awakening, Burn Heal, Ice, and Paralysis. So this gives you a little bit of a way to actually manufacture in the server now, which is fine. I'm not too worried about brokenness. But now, we should make it where, if you have all of these, you need to take a mixer. So that's what I'll do in the next little clip. All right, so now we're going to show you how to use the mixer real quick. Mixer is also pretty straightforward. We're going to come back to the recipes. We'll see that we have mixing. Let's go to our deploying. Come back out of here. We already have mixing for these. Someone want clay block to have a new recipe. So this will be a new full underscore heal dot JSON. And if we open it up real quick, we can take our paralysis heal and can't actually use that because guess what? We actually need one of these. So this is our mixing setup. It's actually very similar. All you do is you change it from create deploying to create mixing. First off, we want this to be full heal. We'll go fix this. So we're working on full heal. So this is full heal. Cool. So this makes the full heal. Next up, we need cobblemon. And let's just start with the paralysis heal. So let's just do that. That's pretty good. I think we can just quickly go through, copy this, copy that, copy this, paste it there. Let's not forget our commas, burn heal, awakening, and the last one, which is antidote. Like, they're all very straightforward. It's not like they're hard. Now we just need to add a lot of Tims. And boom, now, whenever we do reload, check out our full heal. Look at that. Mixing them all together gives you the full heal. And that allows you to just like mass produce them without having to use like autocrafters and stuff. It's just like boop, 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 boop. So you can get like, you can have them, each one of these going clunk, create the potion, and then you can throw them into a mixer and make a full heal. And then for the final part, I think all we're going to do is we're going to take a full restore and a max potion. So a full heal and a max potion, and you can just craft it. I don't want to make those too complicated. So I'll just do that on my own time. But there you go.